Hello, dear learners and viewers. Welcome to you all. I am Shiksha, lecturer of English, Dhaka Shiksha Board Laboratory School and College. Dear learners, today I am before you with a new topic from English for today, that means English first paper, and the name of this topic is flowchart. Dear learners, this topic is very important for you because it appears in the question paper in question number 3 and it carries 10 marks. And like mathematics, you can easily get 10 out of 10 if you are able to write 5 pieces of correct information. But if you make mistake, there is a possibility you might get 0 out of 10. So, you should pay special attention to this topic. And I hope you will pay your full attention while enjoying the class. And today in my session, first I will discuss the basic guidelines and the techniques of writing flowchart. So, let us start our session. Flowchart. Okay, let me first of all tell you the history of flowchart. Yes, Frank Gilbert introduced flowchart in 1921. And at that time they are called process flowcharts. He used it in industrial engineering curricula, and later in 1930s another industrial engineer, Alan H. Mugginson, began to use to train business people. And in flowchart very often we use the symbol rectangle. Now the question arises, why do we use this symbol rectangle? Why not circle or triangle? Okay, because a rectangle represents process or operation or a task. Now I shall discuss the basic guidelines of flowchart. Okay, number 1, first of all you should give a title. How? For example, the activities of peace movement are shown in the following flowchart. Okay. Second one, draw 6 triangular shape either horizontally or vertically. Okay, in flowchart you see this is horizontally this chart and this is vertical chart. If your handwriting is not so good or if you need more space, then instead of horizontal stage you can write it in a vertical way. Okay. Next, write the information chronologically or serially after the first one given in the box or given in the question. Okay. Then information should be written in phrase, not in sentence. This is very important. You should write the information in phrase, not in a sentence. Number 5, avoid using auxiliary verb, and in case you need to use auxiliary verb, then you can write it being, having, been, etc. in this way. Always use lowercase at the beginning. Lowercase means small letter. Okay, and avoid punctuation marks like period, comma, note of exclamation, note of interrogation, etc. Now there is a question. This is a very controversial. In our country, especially the guidebooks and some of the tutor may tell that you can use uppercase at the beginning, but this is not the correct, because you know that in flowchart you have to write the information in a phrase, not in a sentence, and you are not allowed to use period, that means full stop. So it is wise to use or to start with lowercase, that means a small letter. You shouldn't write it in capital letter or uppercase. Okay. Now there are 6 basic techniques, and if you can understand it very well, then you will be able to write the flowchart correctly. Okay, the technique number 1, gerund plus noun or noun phrase or preposition phrase. Number 2, preposition, for example by or for, then gerund, then noun or noun phrase. And third technique, use infinitive phrase. Technique 4, preposition phrase. And 5, noun or noun phrase. And number 6, verb phrase. Okay, these are the most common 6 techniques you can use to write flowchart correctly. Okay, now the first technique, gerund plus noun or noun phrase or prepositional phrase. You see, I have already discussed it in my previous class on modifiers, how to construct a noun phrase. Despite today I am going to give you the highlights of constructing noun phrase. Okay, gerund, then noun phrase. Okay, noun phrase, determiner plus noun, determiner plus adjective phrase or adjective plus noun, noun plus prepositional phrase, noun phrase plus noun, noun phrase plus conjunction plus noun phrase. Okay, now see, gerund plus noun phrase or prepositional phrase. Suppose in the question you will see, make a flowchart showing the purpose of education. Okay, now I am using this technique. Enlightening the individual, you see, enlightening, this is gerund, and then the individual, this is noun phrase. Making us tolerant, this is making is gerund, and us tolerant, this is also noun phrase. Helping the individual to cope with the new situation, here helping is gerund and then noun phrase, and again this is a prepositional phrase. So here you see noun phrase plus prepositional phrase. Then broadening our outlook, this is gerund, and then our outlook, this is a noun phrase. Ennobling our mind, this is gerund, ennobling, and our mind, this is noun phrase. Refining our sensibility, refining is gerund, and our sensibility, this is noun phrase. So we can write a flowchart using this first technique, gerund plus noun or noun phrase or prepositional phrase. Then technique number 2, preposition, usually by or for, then gerund plus noun or noun phrase. Suppose in the question paper you will find, make a flowchart showing the causes of water pollution. Okay, now we will write a flowchart using this technique. You see, preposition by or for, this is the most common. Discharging the chemical waste, discharging, this is gerund, chemical waste, this is noun phrase. Throwing domestic rubbishes, throwing, this is gerund, domestic rubbishes, noun phrase. By discharging industrial wastes, discharging is gerund, and then industrial wastes is noun phrase. Quitting tannery waste, and last one, dumping oil, dumping, this is gerund, and oil, this is noun. So using this technique we can also make flowchart, write flowchart. Technique number 3, infinitive phrase. Now you need to know the construction of infinitive phrase. You see, infinitive phrase structure, first of all to, then verb, then noun or noun phrase or prepositional phrase. Again, suppose the question paper, in the question paper you will find, make a flowchart showing the role and activities of Ghazi Pir. Okay, now using this technique, infinitive phrase, we will make the flowchart. To tame the wild animals, to ride on a tiger, to defeat the crocodiles, to hold a snake in his hand, to help people cultivate land near the jungle, to make dangerous animals docile. Here you see, to tame, this is verb, ride verb, defeat verb, hold verb, help verb, make verb. And then again you see, the wild animals, this is noun phrase, on a tiger, this is preposition phrase, the crocodile, this is noun phrase, a snake in his hand, this is a noun phrase, people cultivate land near the jungle, this is noun phrase, dangerous animals docile, this is also a noun phrase. So using this third technique, I mean infinitive phrase, with the help of infinitive phrase we can make a flowchart. Now technique number 4, preposition phrase. Okay, and this is the structure of prepositional phrase, preposition plus noun phrase or preposition plus noun. Now in the question paper, suppose the question is make a flowchart showing the sources of learning, etiquette and manners. Okay. So this might be the probable answer from our parents or from parents, from friends and relatives, from various institutions, from professional bodies, from our elders, from our companions. So here you see from, this is preposition, and then our parents, this is noun phrase, or from parents, this is noun. Again, friends and relatives, this is noun phrase, various institutions, this is noun phrase, professional bodies, this is noun phrase, our elders, this is noun phrase, our companions, this is noun phrase. So using this technique, I mean first of all preposition, then noun phrase or noun, we can make flowchart. Now technique number 5, noun or noun phrase. Okay, we can make a flowchart only using a noun or noun phrase. Suppose in the question paper, the question says make a flowchart showing the characteristics of Jerry. Okay, so we can write it using this technique number 5, noun phrase. So the answer might be honesty, integrity, courage, responsibility, benevolence. You see, all these are nouns. So we can write flowchart or make flowchart using this technique noun phrase. Now the last one, technique number 6, verb phrase. Okay. So first of all we need to know how to construct verb phrase. Yes, there are various ways to construct verb phrase, but here I mention the most common 5 techniques of writing verb phrase that will be suitable for you to make a flowchart. First of all, verb plus adverb phrase. For example, he works very slowly, works verb very slowly, this is adverb phrase. Then verb plus noun phrase, the cat eat the mouse, eat verb, the mouse, this is noun phrase. Verb plus prepositional phrase, the baby cried in the night, cried verb in the night, this is prepositional phrase. Verb plus noun phrase, Ronnie told the children a story, told, this is verb, the children, this is noun phrase, a story, this is noun phrase. Technique. And then verb plus noun plus prepositional phrase, Rina made a cake for the party. Made, this is a verb, a cake, this is noun phrase. For the party, this is prepositional phrase. So using these most common techniques, we can write verb phrase. Now using this technique of verb phrase, we can make a flowchart. For example, in the question paper, you find make a flowchart showing Anna Frank's conditions from her birth to death. Okay, so you see, born in 1929, given a diary. Here you see, born, this is verb, in 1929, this is adverb phrase because it indicates time. Given a diary, given, this is verb, a diary, this is noun phrase, verb plus noun phrase. Chronicled or wrote her life in the diary. Here you see, chronicled or wrote, this is a verb, her life, this is a noun phrase, in the diary, this is a preposition phrase. So here you see verb plus noun phrase, then preposition phrase, verb plus noun phrase, then preposition phrase. Spent 2 years in hiding, spent, this is verb, 2 years, this is adverb phrase. Sent to Bergen-Belsen concentration camp, sent, this is verb, to the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp, this is a preposition phrase. So using this technique, we can write or we can make flowchart. Okay, these are the most 6 common techniques that I have discussed is very essential to make flowchart. Okay, now I will show you how to write or how to make a flowchart from a scene passage or a given comprehension. Okay, let's see. Suppose this is a given comprehension and the name of this comprehension or passage is the peace movement, and in your English for Today book it is in unit 12 lesson 5, but if you have a copy of new edition you will get it unit 10 lesson 5. Okay, so this passage is about peace movement. Okay, And now you see the question says read the text and make flowchart showing the activities of peace movement. Okay, now you have to write flowchart. Okay, and here you see activities. You have to give emphasis, you have to understand what does the question say. You have to find out activities of peace movement. Okay, and in the first one, in the question paper, you will see you have to write 5 pieces of correct information, and in total there are 6 pieces of correct information. The first one is given for you, ending of war. Okay, now your duty is to find out where this point start from the passage. You see, ending of a particular war. Okay, ending of a particular war. So you have to start from this point. Okay, and now comparing these two things, we can see that we can use gerund plus noun phrase, this technique. You see, so gerund plus noun or preposition phrase. Using this technique, now we will write a flowchart. Okay, and in flowchart, one thing you should remember: you should not go back, you should go forward, I mean from this point. Okay, so from this point we will try to find out whether the rest of the information. Okay, you see, minimize interhuman violence. So we will make it gerund plus noun phrase, this pattern. So we can write minimizing interhuman violence. Next you see ban of guns, so we can transform it banning of or banning guns. Next you see advocacy of pacifism, so we can make it gerund plus noun or noun phrase or preposition phrase. How? Advocating pacifism. And the next one, non-violent resistance. So we can write growing or creating non-violence resistance. Here you have to write extra word to make a gerund. Then supporting anti-war political candidates. So we can write supporting anti-war political candidates. There are more information, but we have already finished the 5 pieces of information, but I am going to show you that there are other information that you can also take. Creating open government, making laws, sustainability of peace. We can say achieving sustainability of peace. So in this way we can write flowchart. But one thing you should know, suppose in your question paper it starts from advocacy of pacifism. Instead of ending war, it was written advocacy or advocating pacifism. So in that case you should start from here. You shouldn't go backward. I mean advocating pacifism, after writing this information you cannot write minimizing interhuman violence. You should flow, you should go from the point that is given in the question paper. So in this way we this passage, suppose it starts from verb phrase. Okay, just we can convert it minimize interhuman violence. In this way I am just showing you how to make a flowchart using different techniques. The same thing, verb phrase, minimize human violence, advocate pacifism, support non-violence resistance. But in the previous passage I showed you minimizing interhuman violence, advocating pacifism, but here I am using the technique of verb phrase. In this way you can use the rest of the techniques, I mean verb phrase or infinitive phrase or preposition phrase. Okay, so I am going to show you the last techniques. So here you see, make a flowchart showing the means of achieving goals and objective of peace movement. Here I am using a different technique, and that is by a preposition plus gerund or noun phrase. So what I mentioned earlier, that you can write a flowchart using different techniques that I mentioned, and the number of those common techniques are 6. You can use any of the techniques that is suitable or appropriate for you. So I hope you have understood it very well, but if you face any problem, then you can ask me, you can tell me in the comment box, and I hope you will practice it regularly, and thus you will be able to have a good command over this topic, and you will be able to write flowchart correctly, and hope you will get 10 out of 10. Thank you so much. Okay, bye.